Well, I've seen photos. They also have Russia and Ukraine's NATO facility.
And we are live. I don't know why this one didn't go. Yeah, we are live here too. Larry Johnson, my good friend, thank you once again to come here. Welcome everybody once again this week. We are going to talk today about, Israel, Ukraine, Venezuela, why not? And Brazil. That would be a fun show. How are you doing, my friend?
Hey, I put the mirror under my nose, breathe, so I proved that I was alive.
And kicking. That's
Oh
it.
yes,
That's a.
I haven't kicked anybody. That's try not to do
That's
that.
great.
Shy away from violence.
Unlike Israel, man. What the hell is going on?
Unlike Israel, yeah.
Unlike, exactly.
Yeah.
Excuse me every now and then because my, English is not my first language. So people that's watching this, pay very attention that sometimes I just speak wrongly. Unlike Israel, man. What the hell is going on there? We have the UN declaring famine in Gaza. Plus, we just had an attack on a hospital, broadcasted, live TV broadcasted.
Yeah, no, look, Israel is deliberately murdering civilians. There's no other way to get around it. They are a despicable, evil regime. They are, in my judgment, worse than the apartheid government of South Africa. The South Africans never killed the white South Africans never killed the number of blacks that compared to the number of Palestinians being just regularly murdered, starved to death by these Zionist monsters. That's the only way to describe them. That attack the other day, they hit the hospital and then killed one journalist. Other journalists gathered around trying to lend first aid. None of them were armed, and Israel killed them. It's one thing to use, where your life is threatened, or the life of your family is threatened, and it's an immediate threat. You can't get away from it. You can't walk away. So yeah, in those cases, you can use violence to defend yourself. But that's not what's going on here. And unfortunately, it's one thing to go, we get on air and say, oh, this is terrible. But the governments, unfortunately, my government, the United States, is going to continue to enable this because they're completely compromised morally, financially by the Zionists, groups like AIPAC. But it's not confined. It's not just confined to Jews. This is confined to, it includes the evangelical Christians that have been, ensnared in this evil. But other countries around the world, BRICS, I think, could put a stop to this pretty quick. All they got to do is impose an embargo on Israel. Just say this has got to stop. India, China, Russia, Brazil, they could do it today, and they don't. And so, they're almost as complicit in this as the United States, because they have it in their power to do something and are not doing it.
To be slightly fair with Brazil, and those who watch me, know that I am highly critical of the government in Brazil right now. To be slightly fair, the government of Brazil was extremely outspoken compared to the other countries, extremely outspoken about this. And, what I always say is words are not enough.
Expression is talk is cheap.
Okay? Talk is cheap. Perfect. That's the point. But recently there were some, not enough yet, but some business cuts between Brazil and Israel. And at this point, I would say that why do we still have their ambassadors there?
Yeah. Break relations, send their ambassador home, close their embassy, close it. Cut off all exports from Israel. No more exports. Stop stop exporting anything from Brazil to Israel. Cut off. End all financial relations until Israel stops. If Brazil did that, if India did that, if Russia did that, if China did that, then I guarantee you Israel would have to stop. But they continue doing business. So,
that is my question, Larry. I can understand the symbiotic relation between Israel and United States, and there's always this talk that Israel controls the United States controls Israel. It's a symbiotic relation. But what about the other countries? Why are they afraid? I would say afraid. I'm not even sure if that's right. There is pragmatism, realism, whatever you want to call it. But at this point, Israel is that relevant to these countries to
No,
keep this pragmatism or realism or whatever call it?
it's all about money. It's all about money. And so
Again, is that relevant?
yeah. I mean, these countries put their financial interests ahead of their moral interests. So, I wish, the way my brain works, and I wish I could have an editing suite. So as I'm talking, then I say, it's all about the money. And then at that point, up on screen would pop that scene from Cabaret with Joel Grey and Liza Minnelli. Money, 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 singing that, performing that. And because, that has to be it. It's not that they're morally pledged to the Israelis. So it's just, it's unfortunate, but it is, it's the reality. Like I said, the talk is cheap. They can condemn all they want. I saw that yesterday, though, Israel finally declared Lula as a persona non grata.
That's about the 5th time they do that.
Yeah, so hopefully Brazil responds by saying, close your embassy. Get the hell out of our country.
Yeah, I think Colombia was the only country who did that, actually, till now. Actually expelled
Venezuela, I think.
Yeah. Venezuela as well.
Yeah, I think. I understand why Russia maintains the relations, because about 2 million of the 7 million Israelis left in the country are Russian or dual passport holders.
Yeah, I can understand some countries, as you mentioned, Russia. I don't understand China. Just recently, we had a very high-level business meeting between the business minister. I don't know what's the name of the job of the guy there in Israel. Well, at this point, I would say it's wishful thinking to think there is a plan involved in that. It's just good business.
Yeah,
good old business. I don't know. But I totally agree. At this point, there should be some reaction.
Sure.
Some reaction.
Though the only country that's actually doing anything is Yemen, the Houthis. They're the only ones. Everybody else, talking a good game, but not doing much.
Yeah, that's amazing. Since I would put Brazil to the last of the list because I'm very interested in this story. But since we talked about Brazil, Lula becoming a persona non grata, just recently, Larry, this week, a couple of days ago, a unknown CIA airplane landed in 3 airports in Brazil, in the south, Rio Grande do Sul, in Sao Paulo, and in Manaus, which is in
So
the Amazon.
what kind of plane?
It's a 757. It's
Okay.
it's not military, I would say.
How they
It's
know it was
probably
CIA?
that's a good question. The news portrayed that would be my first question. Is this some BS? I don't know. The media just say, yeah, there's a
Yeah, I don't know.
unknown CIA. I
CIA.
don't know if they painted outside CIA.
Yeah, CIA doesn't. CIA doesn't fly around in a specially marked CIA aircraft. Actually,
I would imagine.
it reminds me the true story of this analyst who was undercover and traveling for the first time overseas, was going to Egypt and arrived in Cairo. And he's told, don't reveal yourself as CIA. Keep your cover as you work for U.S. State Department. And so while this guy's standing there waiting for his baggage, out comes his bag, and marked on the side of it, it says CIA. He goes, "Oh my God!" He left his bag. He got a return ticket immediately. Got out of there. He didn't realize that CIA stood for Cairo International Airport. Okay, so this, if the CIA is carrying out some, sorry, I'm killing you here, huh?
You are.
If the CIA is actually carrying out some covert operation, covert activity, there's a whole host of what's called covered aircraft that are owned by different companies that have no obvious affiliation with the U.S. government. So as I said, I'm curious the story that this was a CIA aircraft and what it was. It just strikes me as nonsensical.
I thought you were having a good time vacations in Brazil. That's
Yeah. Well, Foz do Iguaçu, o Paraná, o Estado Maior do Brasil.
You already said that here. First time I came here, you said that.
Yeah.
I said, don't do that again.
Hey, everything
It's all
in the
right.
United States, they say everything's big in Texas. Everything's the biggest in Paraná.
Especially the code. The code is biggest there.
But
Damn code place.
oh no, it's not bad. We got that
For
dam.
me, it's terrible.
You got the dam at Itaipu that stretches from one horizon to the other. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, is almost as big as the Niagara Falls, but by a little.
What, the Iguazu?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's bigger.
I think I looked once, and it's almost about the same. Almost, it's hard to.
But I'm talking about the hydroelectric power plant, Itaipu.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. That's a magnificent engineering work.
Yeah, it's got to be one of the. I think it's got to be one of the largest in the world. So
it's one of the most. It produces a lot of Brazilian energy.
Yeah,
a lot of Brazilian
energy.
Yes, I don't think I should be saying that here. I just gave up some Brazilian secrets that it's on Wikipedia. But
no, yeah, that's not a secret. I mean, hell, I got briefed on it when I was there as a tourist back in 1984. We're 41 years ago, dude. Not a secret.
Yeah, exactly. Not a secret. I was, learning to talk and walk by the time.
Yeah.
To grow up and bullshit people on the internet.
Yeah, well, actually, the internet barely existed back then.
I don't know.
Yeah, we were still using. When I joined CIA, we were still initially using typewriters in 1985. Then we graduated to got the first word processors. Used to be a machine called Wang. And Wang was a dedicated word processor machine. And again, when that came out, boy, people were like, "Oh my God, this is the most wonderful thing in the world. You can write electronically and erase." So yeah,
And erase. That's very important. And erase.
yeah, you've grown up in a world that you've never known different.
I had my share of typewriters. I had, technology took a little bit always takes a little bit to get to Brazil.
Yeah, well, look, that's just because your family was poor and they weren't going to spring for a computer for you when you were 10, okay? or maybe your parents, were worried. Oh, he'll get on there and become a porn addict. No, we're not going to let him do that.
You're on fire today, man.
Yeah, sorry about that. Can't take me anywhere.
I know you like this show just because you can say all that.
I like talking to you.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure, man. Thank you very much for that.
My collection of my boys. You're all about the. You're all into. Are you 44 yet?
I am 44.
So you're the same age. You're the same age as my son. Okay, so like I said, I got
Cool.
you. I got Nima. We got to work on your outfit. You got to start wearing the shirts.
Me? No.
Yeah.
This is 100% this channel.
No.
Very stupid t-shirts. Are you stressed? No.
I've got the Larry Wilkerson now wearing a shirt occasionally. Garland Nixon doing it. Nima's doing it.
That's
the Danny
true.
Davis has done it. Hey, I'm an influencer.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
I am. I'm vaccinated against CIA. Mind.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
But to be fair to you, there was one show that I put a shirt, and I did it on purpose. Just for the introduction of the show to say that I shaved and I put up a nice outfit, and never again. I have some in my closets here, but I don't like it. I will get you a pretty nice Rio de Janeiro, Hawaiian t-shirt that you like.
No t-shirts. I don't do t-shirts.
No, not t-shirt, shirt.
Yeah,
sorry.
Button or zip, I don't care. But I'm not a t-shirt guy.
No. I just it's easy. You take off. That's easy.
Yeah,
I like easy stuff. I have a comment here in the chat that said that a Itaipu is bigger than the Foz do Iguaçu is bigger than the Niagara Falls.
I thought so.
I was wrong.
Oh my God! You mean you're human? You make an occasional mistake? Oh my God! Well, I'm not doing your show.
You were right.
I'm not doing your show anymore. I demand perfection.
You mean you were right? So that's the new stuff here, right? Larry Johnson was right for the first time.
I'm always right. Well, okay, wait. I'm always sure. I'm not always right, but I'm always sure.
There was a TV show, a Mexican TV show that was very popular in Brazil. And there was this teacher. The what's the guy's name? El Chavo del Ocho and El Chapulín Colorado.
No.
They were very popular in Mexico. So, pretty much where you live.
Is that the guy with the pencil, like the very thin mustache, or not?
No, not really. I'll send you some clips later. It was very popular, and they were very popular in Brazil. They were translated and very popular in Brazil. And there was this teacher. They always say, "I'm always right." There was one time I was wrong. The time that I thought I was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good. Man, let's move to Ukraine.
Ucrania.
We have, Ukraine. We don't talk about Ukraine anymore now. We talk about Russia. We just had Lavrov on ABC News.
NBC.
Sorry.
Kristen
NBC
Welker.
News.
Kristen Welker.
So my first question is, you worked on the mainstream media for some part of your life.
Yeah.
Is everybody on mainstream media absolutely obnoxious
And not very smart.
and
Yeah.
not very smart? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of my favorite stories. So you know who the astronaut John Glenn was? So
The
John
name rings the bell.
John Glenn was the first American in space. Okay, that was his claim to fame. He was number one. So at least in the United States, he was had some fame. People knew him. And a friend of mine, she was a producer. She's at CNN at the time, and she got this new college grad, just graduated from college, working as an intern at CNN. And they were expecting. She was expecting John Glenn to come. He was going to be interviewed that day. And this kid comes up and goes, "There's some guy down in the lobby says his name's John Glenn, that he was an astronaut or something. Who is this guy?" Those are the people that end up, going on to work as anchors and doing interviews. They're not very smart people. And Kristen Welker, was displayed a remarkable amount of ignorance in her questioning of Lavrov. I admire Sergei for keeping his patience and not slapping her around, but he did push back a little hard a couple of times.
He did gently.
Yeah, but it was some very just the assumptions inherent in her questions. What's important, the takeaway from that interview, is to understand that I don't see any way that there is going to be normalized relationships with Russia until something happens in the United States that forces us to change. Because as you could see in the Welker's questioning, there was just great hostility, presumption of guilt, a narrative committed to a narrative about Russia that is not true, but is widely believed in the United States. And it's not confined to the media. The media has been effective in sowing that propaganda in the minds of the vast majority of Americans. Policymakers, political leaders on both sides of the aisle, business leaders, they believe that crap, that nonsense. So no matter what Donald Trump says or does, it's not going to change that reality. And in fact, I talked to someone else earlier today over in India, and because he was asking sort of along the same lines, is there any base? What are your hopes for peaceful, good diplomatic relations? I said, I don't think it's going to happen. If you recall, starting I think in 2004, Russia began hauling. They were our way of getting to and from the space station. The United States no longer, for whatever reason, could no longer launch rockets or didn't have any spacecraft that could make the journey. The Russians did. So the Russians always took us along. They were like our Uber driver or our taxi driver.
To the moon.
Yeah, so they did that for 20 years. Do you think that earned Russia any goodwill? Hell no. We kept describing Russia as our enemy. And all the bad things Russia's doing. Never any acknowledgement, recognition of what Russia did to, basically keep us in the space program. So that's why I say that, gestures, trade, there's got to be a fundamental change in the messaging. And right now, I think a large portion of that messaging is controlled by, I will describe it as Zionist viewpoints. And so the Zionist viewpoint crosses both Jewish and Christian lines, and it is decidedly anti-Russian. The 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 relationships between the Zionists and the Trotskyites is pretty tight, going back in history. And this Trotskyites have never gotten over Stalin whacking Trotsky in Mexico. So that that's legacy sort of lingers on.
Yeah, we just had a debate. It's not a debate, it's an ultimate fight bullshitting people. It's popular in Brazil right now. I don't know why people like this. Go watch UFC. At least there is blood, punch, and
Well,
kicks,
yeah.
violence.
So what was the debate between who?
It was a debate between a Trotskyite. It's hard to say that word, and a Stalinist. And why? It was an averagely decent debate. But why? What's the reason?
I mean,
Why are we
they
talking
really
about
did
this
that
right
recently.
now?
They did that recently?
It's 5 days ago.
No kid.
It's not recently.
Is it
Yeah, no,
is it only in Portuguese or?
I will send you.
Yeah,
It's in Portuguese, but you can get subtitles on YouTube.
you understand what the essence of the debate is, or do you not?
Not too much, actually, because they speak about mostly the same kind of stuff, but one was looking at one way, the other was looking the other
Well,
way.
the difference is this, as I understand it. They both embrace the communism espoused by Marx and Lenin. But for the Trotskyites, they saw this as an international revolution that must be pursued.
Exactly.
Whereas the Stalin view at the time was, we don't have time to go screwing around changing the world. We got to fix ourselves. We got to fix it here at home. And it is, the West goes out of its way to portray Stalin as pure evil. Stalin was not pure evil. I don't put Stalin in the same category as, say, Adolf Hitler. Stalin was
No even reason for that.
but Stalin was he was let's call him a criminal pragmatist. And when the Bolsheviks gained control of Russia, literacy rate was 21%. So like 1925, 21% literacy. 30 years later, right after Stalin died, they had universal literacy in Russia. So in those 30 years that Stalin was in power, the world was changed so that every child born during that period started going to school, learned to read. And at the point that the adults also were taught to read. So that by 1955, you've got universal literacy in Russia. And that persists to today. In contrast to the United States, remember the United States has got, sorry about that, my phone was going off.
Nah, it's all
The
right.
United States now has 79% literacy. Okay. Also under Stalin, what he did was, Russia was largely an agricultural society. And he recognized that the future of the industrial age was upon him and literally moved Russia into the forefront to become one of the leading industrial powers of the day, one of the leading technological and scientific powers. So, yeah, Stalin did a lot of horrific things. He was, responsible for the deaths of millions of people. So not trying to present him as some great humanitarian, but there are things he did as well that were for the benefit of the Russian people that lingered on. And that was the argument with the Trotskyites. No. We're not going to get involved with this, with this international communist war necessarily, even though the USSR was always accused of that. And it's, the connection between the Trotskyites and the Zionist Jews in Russia led in part to the purge of the Jewish doctors in was it 1952, 53. So I mean, it's complicated, but I'm fascinated that even in Brazil today, there was two people that thought worthwhile having a debate between a Trotskyite and a Stalinist.
Yeah, this kind of thing, podcasts, they have this tendency in Brazil because it became something fashionable and people like it. As I said, just go watch UFC. There's violence, blood. It's much funnier. uh, uh, and this became, this you pick someone from some kind of stream right against someone from stream left. In this case, they put two people that were supposed to be left, and debate this for me is insanity. For me is insanity. Why are we talking about this? Why are we not talking about ideas and how to go forward? This is
Mhm.
just stupid. This is just mediocre. And I do like the podcast, the channel. It's very good channel, but this kind of thing is just useless at this point.
Well, yeah, I was surprised that there would be any demand for, let's have a Trotskyite and a Stalinist verbally slug it out. Who won the debate? Any idea?
Uh, I think it was the Stalinist. It was much the guy. The Stalinist is a very known historian and journalist who also has a YouTube channel called Opera Mundi. Breno Altman, his name, who by the way is also Jew and is also pro-Palestinian and against what the genocide that is happening there. Can we call it already genocide? The G word. At this point that we had, journalists being bombed on a hospital during broadcast, can we start doing this? Please,
At
YouTube.
least International Criminal Court (ICC) is describing it as genocide. So I guess if it's the court can have that judgment, it's probably okay to come to that conclusion yourself.
Exactly. But one thing called a lot my attention, Larry, and that's the second time you said that's last week, but I didn't have a punchline on that. And you're saying against this week, 79% only literacy in the United States.
Yeah.
That means 11% of the United States is for
20,
almost 400 million.
21%.
21%. Damn. Did I just say that?
And of
21%.
that 79%, I think there was the majority of that can only read at the 6th grade level. So anything that's written that's technical, difficult to follow, they can't read it, can't comprehend it.
Does the NBC chick counts as 79%?
Yeah, well, she's also probably counts as that with the 6th grade reading level too. So literate, but still not real smart.
I could get better 6th grade readers in Brazil than that. But anyway, okay, let's not pick on her. Why not?
Yeah,
But
well,
okay, let's not pick on her.
Yeah, let's pick on her. Why not? That's a good reason to pick on her. Okay, go ahead.
Dude, come on. You have the phone number of the guy on your speed dial app. Just call Lavrov. Said, there's this Brazilian guy. He's gonna say some stupid stuff, perhaps. He's gonna try to be funny every now and then, but he's going to do a much better job than these NBC guys, and he's going to bring the word. Tell him to come to the press of mass destruction.
I'll pass it on.
Yeah, right. I know that. The last one I could even believe, but this one, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Or perhaps next time you visit the Kremlin, call me on. Man, yeah, we took a little too much time on joking today, but that's the best part of the show. Let's go to Venezuela.
I've been there. I've
You've been there. I haven't been there.
Caracas, Barquisimeto.
Really?
I don't know what the hell Trump's doing. The only way I can figure out this is a play for the oil. I hope he's not serious about trying to use U.S. military force in Venezuela, because it will be a disaster for the United States. Now, my information is a bit, let's see, it's been over 23, 24 years since I was last in Venezuela. But, when you fly into the airport, the international airport is actually down along the coast. And then from there, you have to drive up into the mountains, and you drive up a mountain road. My God, for the U.S. to try to go there and land and get up to that capital, to Caracas by vehicle, they'd be ambushed right and left. And flying into Caracas isn't that easy of a feat either, because if you come in helicopters, they'll be vulnerable to surface-to-air missiles or rocket, shoulder-fired, SAMs of some sort. Because Caracas sits, as I recall, you get through the mountain, it sits. I called it was like a city inside a toilet bowl. Una ciudad adentro de un inodoro. So
Yeah.
it's surrounded on all sides by the mountains. Not one of my favorite cities in the world. I enjoy Buenos Aires, yeah. But so Trump had, and with Tulsi Gabbard, they fired the head of the National Intelligence Council. So the NIC is a council made up of, you'll have a national intelligence officer for Latin America, you'll have a national intelligence officer for Africa, one for Europe, one for Russia, one for Asia, or they may have split it up into a couple of different regions, Southeast Asia, Southwest Asia. And so each of those are, geographic area experts. And then they'll be asked to oversee the drafting of what are called national intelligence estimates. And so apparently there was a national intelligence estimate done about Venezuela, with the question being asked, is Nicolas Maduro, the president, helping run these drug cartels? I haven't seen the estimate. All I can go off is they said that the guy that was fired, because his views about Venezuela didn't jive with that of the White House. But that tells me that the estimate probably said something along the lines that while Nicolas Maduro certainly has benefited financially from associations or through individuals connected to these various drug cartels. I mean, the big ones they're in Colombia, they're not in Venezuela, and they're in Mexico, not Venezuela. But there was he was not some big narcotics mastermind, which is now what the United States is trying to use as an excuse or justification to attack Maduro. So, it is, I guess Donald Trump feels that he's got to start another war so he can end the war, so he can then say, see, I stopped 8 wars. He's like the arsonist that goes out, sets a building on fire, then shows up to put the fire out, and then wants to get credit for helping the firefighters.
With gasoline.
Yeah. Come on, baby, light my fire.
Don't do that. They're gonna get struck by outer rights or whatever it's called. It's all right. I just cannot play the song, but it would be fine.
You can't do the music.
Can't do the music.
How about if I start singing it?
Yeah, come on, baby, light my fire. Yeah. I think YouTube is going to take down my channel because I suck, not because of copyright.
No. You're fine.
No, because I suck singing.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, maybe
that is true. That is.
But
true.
you don't advertise yourself as a singer.
Exactly. That's the great point. That's a great point.
You could make a case that if you cut your hair, you'd look a little bit like Luciano Pavarotti in his prime.
Well, well, thank you for calling me fat.
No, I didn't say fat. You got the same facial
I got
characteristics with the beard. You know,
the beard. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, but it's interesting this thing on Venezuela. Yeah, what caught my attention was when Trump said that you know Maduro was also ahead of the Sinaloa cartel. I was like, what?
yeah. Sorry, the Mexicans don't. You know, they're not wild about Venezuelans. Maybe Venezuelan women. I mean, look. I mean,
Understandable.
the Venezuelan women are notorious for having the biggest booties in South America.
Yeah,
It's
no, that's
the
not
booty,
true.
the booty kingdom.
The, the booty kingdom.
Yeah, I mean,
That's not just
more
because they're too little.
more
We are bigger.
more booty than Brazil. You muted
You
yourself.
know, we're all Latins. We're all South Americans. You know, here, there. So Julio here said that I look like Demi Rousseau. I didn't know this guy before.
Demi Hussel?
Demis Rousseaus. I don't know if in English it's called Demis Rousseaus. It's a French singer, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
yeah.
An old time French singer.
No, not familiar with them.
I don't know.
Limited in my cultural education.
McDonald's and Disney.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Sorry about that. I couldn't miss that opportunity.
Go ahead.
Man.
Insult the old man.
I'm not insulting the old man.
Oh, okay.
I'm insulting your country. That's different.
Well, I insult my own country, so that's okay.
Sorry, good. Man, I think I'm out of questions for today. But that was a very interesting call on Venezuela. This is a subject. I called that one to you some time ago. You know, Trump is going to pivot to South America.
Yeah, and I thought maybe you were drinking too much Italian wine, but now I know I was wrong.
I'll say, no, you were not wrong.
Okay, so
I was slightly right here.
Yeah. Good.
Man, thank you very much once again. Send regards to everybody. Everybody, remember to follow Larry on Sonar21.com. He posts all the videos, including the ones he does here with Nima, with the judge, with Danny Davis, every now and then, with Anya. I don't know if you're still doing Anya.
Yeah,
channel.
Something really weird with that lady. I mean, she just cut off all contact all of a sudden. And you know, she co-authored a book with Scott Ritter. I wrote the sort of a foreword to it.
Yeah.
And she's not even talking to Scott right now. So it's like, you know,
wow.
I don't know what's going on. I wish her well. I always enjoy chatting with her.
Yeah, she was missing for almost a month on YouTube.
Yeah.
But then she came back. I don't know.
No idea what happened. So
I don't know.
Okay,
right.
I will talk with you next week.
Thank you very much, and send regards to Lavrov. Tell him, send him a week.
Marcelo's a fanboy. I'll see how to hook you up. All right, dude.
It would
Later.
be an interesting talk.
Okay.
Later, man. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you all. See you next week. Bye-bye.